Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. We have not done a goal setting workshop in a really, really long time. We used to do these every single month. And I think we're going to start them back up. So you guys, if you're watching the recording or you guys are on live, I would love for you to just drop me a message in the next week or two, into the month after tonight, and give me some feedback. What you liked about this, what you felt was confusing about this, what you think could improve, whatever, because this sheet, I'm going to get ready to share my screen, but this sheet I developed like probably two years ago. And so there are, as I was working through it, I do it every single month and have for quite some time. But as I was coaching someone on it today, which made me think like, oh, I really need to like do this with the team, I realized, oh, we could actually add some other things to it. So what we're going to do, this Zoom is all about setting your goals for the month of May. All right. It's May 2nd. I was hoping that our rank advancement email would be out by tonight, so I would be able to help coach you through that. But nonetheless, we're going to act as if it's like a normal month, and whatever we get granted is just gravy on top. All right. So before we jump into it, type in the chat if you're close to your chat and you can, like, do you currently set goals for like your month, or is this like a brand new concept? So the reason I will tell you, personally, I like to set a goal. I don't set too many. I usually will focus on 2 goals per month. I like that because it shows me what is working and what is not, and what I'm tracking and what I'm not, right? So I'm going to, and this, what I'm getting ready to show you, this, let's see here, where is it? There it is. This worksheet, can you see the worksheet? Everybody can? Yeah. Okay. So this worksheet is what we're going to be working off of. You can get this on the Boards app. You can get this on the United We Thrive. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for commenting. So what we're going to do is you're just going to kind of work through it. Okay. We're going to work through it together. But I want you to think with the end in mind. I want you to think when you're sitting there at the very end of May, right? We have 31 days at the end of May. Where do you want to be? When you think of this month has been successful for me, what does that look like for you? Is it a rank? Is it a certain number that you've made on a paycheck? Is it a number of lives you've impacted? Is it, I've helped this person do this, or, I've brought on this many customers? What does success look like for you? Okay. So I'm going to give everybody kind of just a moment. And I would challenge you to choose, if you're not used to goal setting at all, I would challenge you to pick one goal. If you're like, oh, I used to goal set, I don't anymore, but like you are pretty good at this, then you can pick 2, but I wouldn't pick any more than that. So I would say, write it down. Where you're going to write it is, hopefully you can see my cursor here, but to the top right where it says goal. All right. I want you to think, and you're thinking the May 31st, success to me this month means what? All right. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that. All right. So hopefully that gave you some time to do that. So if it's a rank, if it's a PPA, if it's, whatever it is, now when we go into this next part of the workshop, I want you to really sort of wrap your mind around focusing on the numbers that are going to get you to that goal. Okay. So hi, Joanne. So I want you to think about, what can I do to get me closer to moving that goal? So if anyone wants to share, you can share and I can help workshop it through. If not, I'm just going to give you guys some examples.
I'll go. I was just talking to
a group.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you, Ashley. Go ahead.
Something that I've talked about for a while, but I haven't done, that I'm just going to set the intention and do it tomorrow, is going through all my promoters list, all my levels, and seeing the ones that I brought on that are still ordering, or the ones that have been successful in the past that I haven't talked to, reconnecting with them, but also thinking, how does I get them on my team? Where did I find them? What was the conversation that I had? Because I think there needs to be a reminder of like how we got to where we are and how we can do that again. That's one way. Free
Okay.
account is another easy way as well.
What
So
was the second one? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
free account?
Free accounts. Okay.
Yeah.
So your goal is more free accounts and to connect with your promoters.
Connect with promoters and help brainstorm of how to bring on new promoters.
Okay. Okay. So what I would do personally to break that down is I would say to connect with all your promoters. I don't know how many there are, but go and look at the number of promoters on your team. You can see that in the back office. And basically, you have how many days, left. Starting tomorrow, you have 28 days. So I would break it down and say, if I've got 100 promoters, divided by 28 days, this is how many I need to reach out to, right? If you got, 5,000, this is how many you need to reach out to. And then you need to prioritize, because if you have a lot, you may not get to them all. And that would be one of the goals. That's how I would break that goal down. And so the other one, as far as, hi, Teresa. We, as far as the other one goes, hitting, what was it again? Remind me. PPA?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. What was your second goal?
So one was to go back to see how I brought promoters on board, how I found them. Second one was reconnecting with old promoters, and third one was free account.
Okay. So your first two basically go together. That's kind of like when you reconnect with them, when you reconnect with them, you'll find that out. So, and then bringing them, kind of back on board. That's definitely a pretty time consuming task. So I would take that big number and break it down. And then as far as your free accounts go, how many do you want to have at the end of the month? And I would set whatever that goal is and break that down. So do you have a number? Have you thought about how many free accounts you want? If not, I would define that. Go ahead.
No, I haven't yet, but I do want to reconnect with the free accounts I already have in there too.
Oh, okay. Not the free accounts. Not new ones, just the current ones. Oh, okay. So that's a lot. I'll challenge you that those are both two huge tasks. And you may want to decide which one, in my opinion, is more important, because that's a whole lot of connecting with, I would personally think free accounts that have not ordered yet, those would be, more of a priority. And then connecting at the end of the month, one of the really good things that you can do if that's a goal, Ashley, is maybe move the connecting with all my promoters till June. And at the end of May, you go and you write down everyone who has volume. I did that about 3 months ago. I wrote down every promoter in my entire downline that had any volume, and I just connected with them first. And then, that could always be something. You won't know that till the end of the month, but so hopefully that helps a little bit. You guys understand kind of where we're going with this. So I'm going to give you another example, because a lot of people have volume goals or PPA goals. Okay, so if your goal is to hit 4K, all right, there's 31 days in the month. You need to bring in $129, an average of $129 a day. Okay, between you, your team, your customers, or customers referrals. If you want to hit 8K, 12K, you just basically take the overall goal number and you divide it by 31 days. All right, so that's what you can write. So we're going to kind of go through each of these. So we have our goal. Those of you who've just joined us, basically here at the top, we've defined 1 or 2 goals. All right, 1 or 2 goals. So our PPA goal, I personally love this goal because it's all about new people and new volume. So I will tell you for myself this month, I'm just giving you an example. This is not telling you it has to be your goal. This is just an example. My PPA goal is 10 for my account and 6 for my husband's account. So 16 new Thrivers this month. Okay, so that's my goal. And if you've earned a bonus, you have to have a PPA goal. So you should start right now to meet it. So you're not at the end of the month going like, what am I going to do? Right. So, hi, Amy. Hi, Beth. We're working on our goals here. So the PPA goal, if that is a focus of yours, okay. So like if I know I have 16 as a goal, then I need to get a new Thriver every other day. Okay. You see how that gets broken down? So let's move on to QV, qualifying volume. So let's say you have that rank goal. This is where you would put that in. Hey, my rank goal is, 12K. It's 8K, whatever it is, and then break it down. So I would like to write here in the QV, qualifying volume goal. And you guys, it doesn't have to be a rank, especially those people who are like, you've been at a rank or the rank's a big stretch. It can be, hi, Amy Ann. It can be 4 to 12. Maybe you're like, oh my God, let me just make it 8. Or if it's 12 to 40, let me just make it 24. Okay. I want you to put a stretch goal that you're going to push yourself, but don't put one that is like so far out of reach. You're going to feel defeated because you're so far away from it, if that makes sense. So I would definitely look at the QV goal. I think that's a good one. And then personal volume goal. This is something you don't ever hear the company talk about. I personally feel it's one of the most important things that we have. It is where your residual business comes. Okay. Personal volume is you get Thrivers, you're going to keep Thrivers. All right. You get a Thriver, you take good care of them, you keep them. They order every month. This is where your residual paycheck comes in. I personally, like to have a pretty high personal volume goal because I've been working on it for a while. But if you're like, crap, I have like 1 Thriver now, or I have 8 Thrivers now, that's okay. Start there and then move forward. All right. And you don't have to write all of these down, you guys. I'm just giving you examples. Okay. And then we're going to get to like work some, and then you guys can ask questions. Yeah, go ahead, Jane.
I can wait till later, but okay, tell me, personal volume is not just my personal volume.
Personal volume is all your customers.
My volume plus my personal customers.
That's right.
Does it include my personal promoters?
No, that's their personal volume.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Okay. So the next option that you have is new team members. All right. And then free accounts. That's what, Ashley, we were just talking about, like, having free accounts, and hers may not be, I want new free accounts, but it may be. And if you have check match, if you are getting check matched from other people's bonuses, you have to have 10 free accounts. So like on mine right now, I'm putting 10 plus 10 because I need 10 on my account and 10 on my husband's account. Right. So I need 20 free accounts this month. So I know that I need to have that as a goal. So I don't sit at the end of the month and I don't have this done. Right. This is the whole point of goal planning. Okay. And then number of samples. Like I was on like the huddle last night, like hearing, Tamara and Amy and Bobby talk about samples. I'm like, I need to sample more. So I have a goal of 20 samples this month. I'm giving them out. I'm actually pushed myself to give them out in the next 2 weeks. They're already packaged. I made them already. So that's kind of how you walk through the worksheet. All right, I'm going to go down to the bottom in just a minute, but I just want to hit the pause button and I want to ask you guys, do you have any questions? Do you need any clarification? Are you thinking of a goal yourself and you're like, oh, maybe you can help me kind of break it down? The whole point of this worksheet is to get that goal on the right-hand side. And then you go and you break it down. All right. Break it down. And you may not need to fill out every single one. I personally, how I use my worksheet is I fill out every goal because I do have like minimums that I like to meet for myself. But I take a highlighter and I highlight the 2 that really I'm focusing on that month. Right. And for me personally, I'm focusing on samples and I'm focusing on PPA. Because samples, I got to have a free account. So that's going to take care of itself. And PPA, I know that's going to take care of my personal volume. So that's what I'm personally focused on. So I'm going to hit the pause button for about 4 or 5 minutes, and you guys that want to go to it and start doing your worksheet. And then if you have questions, you can come off mute, but keep working if you know what you're doing, and then we'll do the bottom part. But please don't hesitate to ask questions if you have any.
Hey, so Kelly, I've actually never done a worksheet like this before, because I've recently just started like focusing on promoting. For the last few years, I've more so been focusing on myself. So I don't really know how to fill this out, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay. So we went over a lot in the beginning. So,
Okay.
just
I
how
can-
to break it down and kind of the setup of it. So
Okay,
I don't want to repeat that since
that's fine.
like a lot of people were,
If
on.
you have it recorded, I can go
Yeah,
rewatch
we
it.
have it recorded, but
Okay.
basically this worksheet is, I kind of just went over, I think you were on when I went over all the one on the left, but really we just started with what is your goal by the end of the month? Think
Okay.
of the end of the month in mind. Like
Mhm.
what is like, I've had a successful May. What does that look like for Amy?
Okay.
And define that first. I would choose
Mhm.
1, 2 at the most. And
I'm
then
gonna be 12K. That's what I'm
Yep.
gonna be.
Yeah. Well then, so basically if you're shooting for 12K,
I am. The last 2 months I've gotten 4K, and I've never sequentially gotten 4K 2 months in a row. I've only hit 4K one other time is when I first started doing Thrive
that's great.
2 years
So
ago.
12K is 31 days. And we have 31 days, so it's $387 a day. What is what you need to average?
Okay.
Okay, now obviously auto ship days are usually a little heavier, but that's what I would
Right.
write down, Amy, as a goal is $387 average. And you
Okay.
guys, if you have a goal for QV, you can actually track it out. So you can take like, by the end of today, if you're going for 12K, your volume should be around 775. And then you just take that 387 and by the 10th of the month, you should be at 3870. So it kind of can tell you like, hey, I'm behind or hey, I'm ahead,
Mhm.
that sort of thing.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Of course.
I want that new vehicle.
Absolutely.
Somebody actually sideswiped my car at some point between last night or this morning. I'm not really sure when specifically, but I found out about it when one of my tire lights went off, and I asked the guy at my work to fill out my tire with
Oh
air,
my
and I
goodness.
noticed that somebody hit my car, so I'm ready to trade her. I mean, I'm going to get it fixed, but I'm ready to
Yes.
get a new car with
Sorry that
having
happened.
it paid for.
Yes. Well, that'll be great. I'm sure you're going to hit it for sure.
Yeah, and
You
a
can
lot of
print this off.
a lot of people were apologizing to me for what happened, and I said I'm not sad about it. I'm going to see that auto bonus in my mind, and not going to be sad about somebody hitting my car and not telling me that they did it.
Yes. All right, you guys, we're going to move on to the bottom half of the worksheet. So the other thing I wanted to just mention is self-development. I have book up there. I really, really, yes, it's something it's not something you want to read. It's something you're going to read this month. Like you're going to do it. Right. And if you're not a reader, if you're an Audible listener, if you're a podcaster, if you like to watch YouTube videos, something, but develop your mind because, you know, everybody's at different stages in their self-development, right? And that is one thing that I know I didn't realize when I came into this team and into this business was the development, the self-development. And I'm 100% addicted to like being a better human and developing myself as a leader and just as showing up better in every aspect of my life. And a lot of that is through reading or listening. So put something on there for your self-development book and just hold yourself accountable. And then the next little section is team members that you want to work one-on-one with. Okay, so a lot of times, and some of you, I know everybody has different like size teams. And if you have one person thriving with you, whether they're a customer or promoter, like you have someone to work with, right? So maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I have this vision of this one person that I really want to work with. They're not on my team yet, but I want to work, write their name down, right? I want you to start like manifesting. I want you to start really like thinking about what it's going to be like when that person's on your team. If you have team members, I want you to think about like who's really going for a big goal. And what I really like to do with this is people who've come to me and said like, hey, I'm going to do this. This is what I want. And then have the action behind it, right? We want to put our resources where they are. And what happens is like, Jane, hopefully I can just use you as an example. But like I knew for the last 2 months that Jane was going for the 4K bonus, right? And so I have her name down on there. And so I know throughout the month that I make sure and I check on her volume. And like towards the end of the month, I was like, okay, where are you? What's your plan? Like, because this is the kind of thing that like you want to be able to work with people directly on. And even if it's one name down, even if it's somebody that you're thinking about, but this is where I really like to put my resources is really helping, you know, someone who's really going for it, who's really building it. It doesn't matter what rank they are, you guys. It's just really like trying to support them. Okay, so hi, Amber, welcome. Okay, so the last half of this, the bottom part of this worksheet is, and then again, I'll be quiet and we'll go through some of it. But we call this on the left-hand side, VIP Auto Elite. So I want you to go through this worksheet is you're going to look up your auto ship customers. Okay. Everyone, it doesn't matter your rank. Everyone should like be working towards Auto Elite, which is 12 customers on auto ship ordering $100 or more. All right. If you have one now, great. Shoot to double that number. If you have 6 now, great. Shoot to double that number, right? Like, continue that because again, what did I say about the personal volume? That's where you get your residual piece of your business. All right. And then when you do become 40K, you have these customers that are already there. All right. So those of you who don't know, our VIP car bonus is at 12K. You get $800 a month if you have a qualifying vehicle or $300 a month if you just drive not a qualifying vehicle. But when you hit 40K and you have 12 customers on auto ship, you get $1,600 a month. You guys, it's $9,000 extra a year. Okay. And it's not the easiest to get there, but 2 months ago, the company changed it where they don't even have to be on auto ship. Your PPA counts for it. So if you got 12 people, 12 PPA in a month, you get Auto Elite. So it's not difficult to hit. Okay. That's on the left-hand side. So what we'll do in a minute, I'll be quiet, is I want you to go and I want you to look in there and I want you to look at all your auto ships for the month of May. All right. This is something you should be keeping track of. We definitely want to keep track of them. And if y'all want me to, just put it in the chat and I will, or you can just tell me, you shake your heads. If you want me to share with you how I like follow up with my auto ship customers, I can definitely share that too. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So basically, we have 5 auto ship dates. We have the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, and the 25th. I'm going to actually show you guys another worksheet that I love. That I do both of these worksheets together. This is also on the Boards app. It's also inside United We Thrive. I believe it's also in our cloud office. But this is basically just an Auto Elite worksheet, but you don't have to be a 40K to use this. All right. So I will do this worksheet. I did it today. I'll look up all my auto ship customers. Okay. And then I put their amounts. So if it's like, Tammy Sue, 174, Cindy Howard, $102, right? I write them down. And so once I fill this out at the beginning of the month, then I will look through it and I will go the day after. So it's the day after that auto ship. So like the 1st, the 6th, because that's after the 5th, the 11th, the 16th, the 21st, the 26th. And I follow up with, not the 26th, so doing the 1st. I follow up with the 5th. So like today I reached out to my 5th auto ship customers. And I just made sure I was like, and some of them don't want me to connect with them because they've been thriving a long time. Some of them do. And so I'll reach out to them. I let them know, hey, you want to add anything? Do you want to tweak anything? Don't be afraid to reach out to your auto ship customers. They appreciate that. So that is one of the other thing that happens when you do this exercise on a regular basis is I look back. I've been doing this now this is my 3rd year doing it. I look back at my May from last year and 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh, there's 7 auto ships that are not thriving anymore. Let me reach back out to them. Okay. And it also like you catch people because people will drop off of auto ship and not tell you because they don't want to hurt feelings. They don't want to be mad at them. They're embarrassed, whatever it is. This helps you catch that. And so you'll say like, oh, hey, like every month I have somebody that skips their auto ship. So I'll reach out and say, hey, I noticed you skipped your auto ship. You know, just want to check in and make sure everything is okay. Most of the time they have an abundance of products because something happened and they didn't take it for a week or two, surgery, or they got sick or something like that. But at least they know you're checking in and you pay attention to what's going on, right? So this is another just really good worksheet kind of for that. But you can do the same thing over here. Okay, it just depends on how many. If you don't have a lot of auto ship customers, this is going to be easier just to manage here. All right, but that's basically what that is. And then over here on the right is 2 Facebook groups. If you're working in Facebook groups, this is great. If you're doing Instagram, you know, you can put a focus, but the whole point of this is what is your social media focus this month? Are you focused on doing reels? Are you focused on being in your stories? Like, what is your social media focus? And then the next one is auto ship special. So you don't have to do this, but when I created this worksheet, I have an auto ship special every month for my customers. Like this month, every auto ship that orders 3 steps, they get free gummies from me, free sleep gummies, because I know how great they work and they're one of my favorite products. And so I tell everybody that it's part of the reach out that I do. And I have people add to their auto ship. Yeah, I'm paying for it, but it's volume and it's introducing them to a new product. And what happens is when you do this over time, sometimes I don't always give them a free product. I may say, hey, I just sent you free shipping for your auto ship. I'm taking care of your shipping this month. You know, but it's something that you can uniquely offer and not wait on the company to offer something, but you're your own marketing. You're offering that. Okay. And then the last part is team personal promos. If you're running a special or you're running any sort of promos for your team, if you like to plan them out, sometimes people just want to like feel the temperature of the team, or we're like, hey, we're running for this, let's do this. But this is just a spot to plan them out. Okay. So we're going to take a few minutes and like actually get into the worksheet and do some of it, but just unmute yourself if you guys have any questions.
Question for you, Kelly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to make sure I understood. So when you're sending them free you're sending them credits to cover their shipping. So if it's $15 or $17, you're sending them that, and they're saying, hey, I'm covering your shipping. But technically they're not using it for shipping, but it covers that amount.
Yes.
But then if you're sending them like the gummies, they're sending them the credits that would cover the gummies. So you're pushing your volume.
Yes. And I always make them go add their gummies to their auto ship before I send the credits. They're like,
so you have to have them on the phone.
No, I don't know. My customers know how to manage their auto ships. So there's a few that I will manage for them just because that's the agreement we've worked out. But most of them, I say, go add the gummies to your auto ship. Let me know when you do. I'll send you the credits.
Gotcha.
Do you require a minimum order amount for that?
Yeah, it has to be all 3 steps. Yeah, that's just an example. I do one every month. I can start. I think sometimes I share them with y'all. I forget sometimes, honestly, but like always ask if you want. I can send y'all the one that I have for this month. But it's
so. Do you do a graphic with it and you just throw it in the chat thread, or you send it to just the people that are on auto ship?
I send it just to the people on auto ship. And that's one of the perks that I say, like when you're on auto ship with me, you get stuff from me. That's that's honestly how I have kept my personal volume up so high for so long.
Let me ask a question about that.
Yes.
So is the only way to change an auto ship is by deleting it and starting a new one? Like to
No,
change?
no, you can manage. There's a spot that says manage auto ship. You just
Okay.
manage it.
Because I went through that with one of my customers who I didn't know was going to continue to thrive with me, just because of some circumstances that we have been through. But she reached out to me and said she wanted to change her shake flavor. So I logged in under my account and tried to walk her through it because I've never like done that with anybody. And she just ended up deleting the auto ship and creating a new one because we got to a point where she didn't see a manage auto ship. She only saw delete, or I forget what she told me she saw.
Under my account, you go to my account, manage auto ship, and edit auto ship item.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what the
Thank you.
what?
I was just saying thank you.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry.
That's okay.
This is what the little graphic looks like, you guys. It's so simple. I took a graphic off of Instagram about the sleep and then I just put it on there. And I've made them now. I mean, I could have done this one last May. I don't even remember. But I just said, hello, May, free sleep gummies with any 3 steps. And so I have a customer chat. And then I also send an email out. And then when I'm doing those reach outs to them, I make sure they know, hey, did you see this? But you don't have to do all of that. I mean, you can just send it to them in a message, you know.
Yeah.
You know how many auto ship customers you have.
Do you mind sharing that particular graphic?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, so I'll share it in just a second. Let's finish up the worksheet, and you guys, if y'all have questions, unmute, but that's really it. And then last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll finish up our work, is take this worksheet. I actually tape mine to my up here, so I see it every time I walk into my office, and I also take a picture and put it in my heart, like my favorites and my album. So it's with me everywhere I go, and I revisit it. Set a reminder on your phone that says, hey, every Sunday night, every Thursday, whatever it is, how are we doing on our goals? If you're not someone who's used to goal setting and checking your progress, but don't just set them. It's gonna be a learning curve, but the point is not to just set them and then go all month and never look at it again. All right. The point is to set the goal, to make the plan based on your goal, and then you work that plan throughout the month. That's the overall vision of goal setting. Okay, so one other tip I just realized I didn't share with y'all that I do a lot on the back of the worksheet. I will break it down. So like, for example, I have one of my goals is 20 samples. So I will actually write it out, samples, and I will put 20. And that way I will write their name. So it's almost like a worksheet. I'll just pull it off my little board and just literally write their name on it. So I kind of know. And how you really can break those numbers down, again, just to give you another example, is it's 20. If I'm doing 20 samples, there's 4 weeks. I need to do 5 samples a week. Well, I know the end of this month is really, really busy for me. So I decided when I was doing this, I was front loading it. So I decided I'm doing 10 samples this week and 10 samples next week. So then I just have to not have to worry about meeting that goal at the end of the month, because I know the end of the month is really busy. So I hope this was helpful, you guys. If it's something, what I said to everybody at the beginning is, if this is something that you like, I used to do these a lot and I just stopped doing them. So if it's something that you like and you want to do, you'll get better at the goal setting. And I do find it to be very valuable. Work through it this month, see how it helps. You know, you'll kind of start thinking. When I first started doing this, I gave myself way too many things to focus on. So that's my best advice, is to pick one goal and think about what you want the end of the month. Like, what does the end of the month look like for you, and what is going to drive that? That is the biggest piece. Don't focus on so much. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we hop off?
I have a question, Kelly.
Yes.
When I'm looking at my numbers at the end of the month in my cloud office, there's always a number called team bonus volume, and I can't figure out what that is.
So team bonus volume is not really a number we pay a whole lot of attention to, but it's basically like, it's basically usually around half or a third of what your overall QV is. And that's like minus out credits, that's minus out, you know, discount codes. It's also like cut in half for compensation. So I don't know exactly what all goes into that number, but I wouldn't stress about it because it's not a number you're measured on.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't even really know what all, I know what gets taken out of it, but I don't know the exact number.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if you could hear people talking in the background. They didn't know my microphone was unmuted. So you said that, Kelly, that you have read so many books and you feel like you have read so many like books that have helped you with your personal development. What's your favorite book?
Oh gosh, my favorite.
I know.
Okay, so I don't have a favorite. I'll give you a few of mine
Okay.
that like I read all the time. Compound Effect.
Okay.
Phenomenal. I'll read it every single January for like 5 years. Jack Canfield, Success Principles. It's a long book, but it literally, like, there's a few books that stay right here. And that's a book that you can read like chapter by chapter by chapter. Eat That Frog.
What was that one? Sorry.
Eat That Frog. It's about
Eat That Frog.
procrastination. Yeah, it's about procrastination.
Okay.
I know. Let me see here. Those are probably my favorite. Oh my gosh, I have if you saw, I have like 25 books that I'm wanting to read right now. But those are probably like my favorite to start with.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a product question.
Yeah.
You mentioned sleep, and I've been taking rest for forever, like 8 years. And I only take half of one because it's just like perfect for me, but I had a terrible time sleeping before that. So I never really thought about switching and trying sleep instead. So I wondered if you took rest before, what your thoughts were in comparison.
I did not. I mean, I took it when I traveled, but I don't actually like really need, the Thrive 3 steps fixed my sleep, but my husband did. He took rest every night, a whole packet, and now he takes 2 gummies. I think he still prefers the gel. Like,
Okay.
We just happen to have the gummies because that's what my kids take
Mhm.
too. But I think he prefers probably the gel. And if I were to say, looking at the 2, The gel, I believe, is going to give you more of like a deep sleep, and that sort of like almost that if you were woken up in the middle of the night, it would be you'd kind of be like, "Rrr," you know?
Yeah, that's right.
But the gummies are more like good, like more not like I get deep sleep when I take the gummies, but they're more like you're gonna get up and there's not as hard to kind of like get out of it. Not like a groggy feeling, because I don't feel like rest gives you groggy feeling, but
Right.
maybe just not as deep of a sleep. The
Perfect.
gummies are really good though. If you ever have anybody that like kids, I mean, so many people give their kids melatonin.
Yeah, they do.
Any kids that's come here and they're used to taking melatonin, they're getting gummies from me. And like
Perfect.
dose them differently. I take a half of one gummy, and I am not sensitive, y'all. A half of one gummy. My youngest daughter, who's 12, takes a whole one, and my husband takes 2. So
Hmm.
try them out. The
Okay.
one gummy was putting me in too much of a deep sleep, and I was getting dreams, and I didn't always love the dreams I was having.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
can
hear you.
also agree with what Kelly just said with the sleep gel and the gummies, because I actually didn't like the way the gel made me feel, because I felt like with the gummies, if I take them, I can wake up and be okay. With the sleep gel, I felt groggy. Like if